some heat on him. Get him, Bo, get him. I believe they attracted that gator tail. Did you see how he tried to keep going back to it? This week on Sportsman TV, we're going shallow. You gotta have the right equipment. Come on, go with us. Put some heat on him. Get him, Bo, get him. Puppy drunk. Just slang him over in the boat. Kind of like one of them old bass fish. Basically what happened, Jared, was we stalked a pod of redfish. They were in this little trenasse here in front of us. You know, I had one of them to bite. They wouldn't get it. I stole in that, the serenade spoon, and I had one to bite it, but it wouldn't get it. And Bubba kept throwing whatever kind of little plastic he's throwing in there, and finally we got one of them to eat. We don't really have much water movement this morning, but those fish do seem to be up feeding. We've seen some blow up over here, the next one we headed to. So we're preparing for good things. I think there's one or two more swimming around in there. I don't know, I'm fixing to get off this spoon, Jerry. I'm not a spoon guy. I don't think it's the deal. I'm gonna get out that fork.
Freaking unbelievable.
Oh, there's another one right there.
Yeah, there's a pile of them right there.
Over here at Bowie Outfitters, hunting and fishing is our passion. We can help you pick all the right gear for your next fishing trip. We spend time in the woods too, so we know what products to recommend when hunting season comes around. We understand the outdoors and what it takes to have success on your hunting and fishing adventures. So come on down to Bowie Outfitters and let us help get you going. Bowie Outfitters, everything outdoors.
Get that starfish!
If you want to be like these anglers,
We might have a star winner, folks!
then you only need two things, a CCA Star entry and a bit of luck. Because if you don't enter, you could miss out on over $500,000 in prizes, including a new Chevy Silverado, over 25 divisions including a new bank fishing, ladies division, and Louisiana Sportsman's bonus prize of $10,000 in cash. Anyone can win, but you must have a Star entry. Register today at ccastar.com.
The Parks family and our team has been handcrafting Blue Wave boats since 1992. Blue Wave's foundation is built on knowing what's important in every aspect that matters, from speed, quality, performance, and features built into every boat. Blue Wave boats are custom built with the highest standards, with everything you need to make your day on the water a success for generations to come. We specialize in building high-quality, custom performance fishing boats.
The original Sportsman Cool Breeze shirt has been greatly improved. This new version has a moisture-activated cooling technology, which actually turns your sweat into cooling power. Ventilated mesh sides add extra breathability. It's UPF rated and antimicrobial. It comes in 5 different colors and is now also available in short sleeve. Get yours now at forsportsman.com. Sportsman, it's who we are.
The first thing that I do when, getting ready to crankbait fish is make sure you choose the right rod. for the presentation that you're doing at the time. I typically stick with a shorter rod, but never shorter than 7 feet when I'm target fishing. And I'll go as long as an 8-foot one when I'm out in the open water and making long casts. The one thing that those rods do have in common, they're both a glass composite mix. They're half fiberglass and half graphite. I stay away from a straight graphite rod, and the reason for that is you have a tendency to react too quickly to the bite. You know, that when that fish comes up there and gets that bait, I want him to have it completely engulfed before I feel him. Another thing that happens when you're cranking with a graphite rod, you'll have a tendency, if you're cranking over wood, to react too quick, and it'll get you hung. That softer rod, a little duller. A lot of times, not feeling the bait is better than feeling it. It's not like bottom fishing, you know, where you're trying to stay in tune with your bait. If a fish picks up a jig, of course, I want a graphite rod. I want to know immediately that he's got it in his mouth. Where on the crankbait or spinner bait, lipless crankbait, you know, I want that fish to have the opportunity to engulf that bait before I feel him on the rod. And that way, a lot of times you'll have him hooked a lot better. The other deal is that softer rod, that composite rod, when they're jumping, it's not as apt to tear the hooks out of the fish. That's what, probably the biggest key to me in cranking is staying with a glass graphite mix on the rod and not using a straight graphite rod.
Fish, you know, they're starting to move in the duck ponds, you know, and they'll get on the flats. You know, it's starting to get grassed up at your typical summertime pattern. So right now we're just kind of picking at the little pockets. We're fishing in about 1.5 to 2 foot of water. Redfish today, they're not moving. You know, we saw a few feeding early. I think that was that early morning bite just in general. Never really could get on them, but they're real spooky and they're just sitting tight.
Oh, there he is. You probably gonna have to go. No, I got him out. I thought you were gonna have to go to him, but whew. Luckily, he didn't come off. Boy, he just smoked it. Up. He gone. Didn't even get to do a full-blown grip and grin like I like to do with them old bigs.
We got it clear water.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy, don't let him get you now. Little blue tail. You know what? Did you see that, Jared? You see that blue on his tail? You know what that means. It's feed time.
Good.
It's all colored up.
Active, he freaking came a beeline for that bait.
And I saw him go.
Yep.
See, he's got the blue tail too. I don't know what that, I'm just saying.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Swamp dragon.
He made a circle around the boat. Whenever you're ready. Oh
yeah. Woo! It's been that kind of day. I don't know if you know or not. We've struggled a little bit, but we finally, it's finally coming around. Thank you. You got matching spots on both sides. Can you see that blue tip on his tail? You know, I've heard that forever, that when they have that, they're aggressive, and it makes sense because the last three that we've seen have all had that. You know, and they're acting like now they're aggressive. Can you see down his throat? You know, most of the ponds we've been in today have been covered in vegetation. One of the most common types that we've been around all day today is Eurasian Milfoil. It's common all over the state. It's common in the South. I mean, we find it all the way to New York. This particular patch here has already started to cycle. And what I mean by that, it already has a seed pod. It's flowering now, and then that's the seeds. And once the flowers mature and the seeds fall off, this actually goes away. And you can tell it's already happening to some of it because it has algae on it. And as that milfoil dies, you know, the algae eats it. And basically the seeds fall to the bottom, and then it starts to grow again, and that whole cycle is repeated. You know, milfoil is exotic, which, like a lot of the vegetation in our part of the country, is exotic. Also, there's eel grass, you know, which actually just looks like a big Johnson grass blade or something. And you see it, and a lot of these ponds had it. You know, there are tons of types of vegetation in our part of the country. You know, it protects the bait, it protects the small fish from the redfish, the bass, bluegill, whatever, the mullet. You know, you can tell our part of the country is really fertile. I mean, it's like a farm field. I mean, that's the reason all that vegetation's growing again, which attracts the ducks in the wintertime, which we like that. And you know, realistically, if you're gonna get around in it, you got to have a surface drive. I got him. Base drag's a little tight. Oh, I believe they attracted that gator tail. Did you see how he tried to keep going back to it? Look how he's hooked in the head. Not even in the mouth.
I like these guided fishing trips there. Did you see that?
Man lips it for me. That's a pretty one there. Smoked fish.
We're kind of tucking outside the wind, and what we're doing is going back to that grassy areas. We're fishing some, so now we're just hitting all the little, I guess, natural tributaries, natural little canals and cuts between the little duck ponds and area. Fishing the weed line and up against the cane. We might catch a school coming through. Feeding this morning, they were very stationary. Look, there's one right there. It looks like a carp though. Looks like a carp. Greg up. It went after it, but didn't want it. Just cruising along.
Gah! Gah! That's a big one too. I mean, I dropped it right on him. He really wouldn't. I know that must have been the one I saw a while ago. Yeah, like and then he stopped. You know, I mean, he didn't. Oh yeah, old striper. Old striper. All I needed to do was just reel my cricket out, and old striper come out and got it. Watch out, Jared. That thing got some mouthful of teeth. Did you see that? Did you see him go for my finger? You gotta watch these things. They're treacherous. What do they call them in South America? Nut cutters? You don't swim around that without some tight drawers on.
Bowie Outfitters is your one-stop shop for all types of outdoor cooking. Tailgating? We've got Bayou Classic barbecue pits and King Cooker jambalaya pots. If frying's your favorite, check out R&D Works Cajun fryers and Cajun injector products to keep meat moist and flavorful. Black iron skillets are key in a southern kitchen, and Bowie carries a big selection of Lodge cast iron, plus Bayou Classic pots for your next crawfish boil. Come to Bowie Outfitters and let us get you cooking. Bowie Outfitters, everything outdoors.
You put the cool in life. We put the cool in coolers. Arctic ice.
Louisiana Sportsman Magazine. For over 31 years, your source for fishing and hunting information. Each month you will find stories by local experts on everything from bass to redfish, to ducks, deer, to trout, and turkey. We've got incredible local information that you can use immediately to get more success outdoors. You'll also enjoy monthly columns on cooking, the latest lures, GPS locations, shooting, kayaks, and much more. Have Louisiana Sportsman delivered to your house and safe. $24.99 gets you a full year of Louisiana Sportsman. To order today, visit louisianasportsman.com.
Managing wildlife is hard work, and Buckbuster's Seed Company understands. That's because we're hunters too. We've tested our seeds with science and developed a proven formula for attracting deer and turkeys. Unsure about what to plant on your food plot? Try our basic fall mix for hunting season success and our premium seed mix for year-round nutrition. Buckbuster's Seed Company, the most complete and cost-effective seed mixes on the market.
Basically, Gator Tail started in the early 2000s as a senior project that I did at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. I had this idea after running long-tail mud motors and tunnel haul drive on our duck hunting lease for many years. I knew there had to be a better mode of transportation, and I came up with this plan. We sold mostly to duck hunters our first year in business, And then we started getting into the commercial market for the commercial craw fishermen. The commercial fishermen is what helped us make our motor better and stronger. My old saying is that if it can hold up to a commercial fisherman in the heart of crawfish season in the Chapala Basin, it'll hold up to any duck hunter. Of this motor, everything is built in-house. There's components that we buy from vendors, but all the machine work is done here. That way, throughout the years, if there's a problem, we've built every part for every motor. This is a reverse clutch engagement system that we have been working on for over 5 years. Basically what this new system does is allow you to have one-hand operation. You have one hand on a switch and you can shift from forward to neutral to reverse using the same reliable toggle switch that we have been producing on these motors for the last 12 years. If you have any questions about our new products, you are more than welcome to call any of our dealers across the country, or you can stop by at our facility located in Lowerville, Louisiana.
And there he is. You know, I truly believe if our fish could grow, if, you know, something don't happen, water quality, we have a storm or something, always seems like they don't have a long lifespan. They just grow so fast here. I mean, like this fish here. I mean, our fish are as wide as they are long. You know, if these fish live 7, 8, 9 years, they'd all be 8, 9, 10 pounders, you know? What have you captured up there?
Oh, man. Freshwater cat.
You know, basically, we're just getting behind these Roseau Islands and using whatever of the marsh we can. Also, it seems like the deal today has been, when we get out of that, away from those big lakes, like back in the marsh, the water's so much cleaner too. You know, it looks better. Not that you can't catch them in that off-colored water, it's just in that clear water, it looks like, because the deal in that clear water, we can see them, just like that fish I just caught. Actually, the last couple we've caught, we've actually, you know, visibly threw to the fish, and that's the cool thing about being back in these ponds and being able to do that. And, you know, again, it goes back to the surface drive. We've been in some places today I'm not sure that you could get in a conventional boat and motor. Green trout. Oh, look, and he's got another hook in his mouth. How about that? Got a little swim bait and a hook in his mouth. That's what them old big marsh bass look like. Gotta keep all your fingers away too. I was told that was, because if you do it like this, everybody knows, they know they're kind of small. We've sat here long enough to break this spot down, Jared. I think the big deal with what I've noticed on this spot, there's clean ground here. There's a lot of grass around. It's got a big pond right here. There's a big pond on the other side. Of course, we got current, you know, blowing through the cut, which is just an ideal place. You know, there's all that grass and this hard bottom. They like that. I noticed there are mussel shells on the bottom. That's how I know it's a hard bottom. And they are attracted to that, because if you think about it, 90% of everything around us is a soft bottom. And a hard bottom, a lot of times, you know, it's a cool thing about power poles. I always listen when mine go down. If you feel them drag, you can feel it when it hits hard bottom. Where if it's in soft bottom, of course, they just bury in the mud. And then the other deal is, like used to, you'd blow through the hole and jack it up, and now we can just pull down right here and just set and work on them in one place, regardless of the wind or current. Ooh, you talking about some fine eating. You know, when we're fishing these grass ponds and it's real heavy vegetation like we have today, you know, you typically want some type of shad bait you can swim. You rig it on a weightless hook. You know, another deal, a topwater frog, of course a gold spoon, which is always a favorite in our area. But you really need weedless baits. Like, even if you're gonna sight fish to fish, it's hard to throw an exposed hook, a jig head. You know, you need to rig it up Texas rig. You know, just like typical, it's really a lot like bass fishing when you're in these grass ponds. You know, you need weedless baits to stay out of the grass. Well, basically, that's just a little shad body with a weighted hook. This particular hook here has a screw on it, and you just screw it in the head of the lure. And then, actually, the way we're hooking the bait is I'm not burying the hook in the plastic. I'm actually going all the way through the plastic, and the hook is out on the back. And then I'm just barely sticking a little plastic over the hook to make it weedless.
but it's easy to get the hook in them. And you know, and it'll catch a bass, catch a redfish, catch whatever. You know, another way you can rig that is just a small slip sinker and a hook. You don't necessarily have to have a weighted hook. The cool thing about the weighted hook is if you stop that bait, rather than it falling nose down, the bait will fall flat, kind of wobble. It's real natural presentation. You know, we've had that issue today. Some of those redfish, you know, would trail the bait and not get it, and you'd have to kill it, and, you know, to get them to bite it. But the big thing is to have a weedless presentation. You know, just because there's so much grass, and if you get a little piece of grass on there, you know, they see good in this clear water, they won't bite it. Green trout are swarming. Well, they're all about the same size. We've seen one begging today, and all the rest of them have been about the same fish. Which that's just real typical, you know, for this area. Just lots and lots of fish like that.
Here at Bowie Outfitters, we know that bow hunting is a year-round pursuit of perfecting your game. That's why we operate a full indoor archery range, stock our shelves with the best accessories on the market, and offer a service and repair shop. We carry top brands like Hoyt, Bowtech, PSE, Matthews, Bear, Barnett, Mission, 10 Point, and more. Bowie Outfitters. Everything outdoors.
These are my Strike King S11s. Get your own.
Louisiana Sportsman Magazine. For over 31 years, your source for fishing and hunting information. Each month you will find stories by local experts on everything from bass to redfish to ducks, deer to trout and turkey. We've got incredible local information that you can use immediately to get more success outdoors. You'll also enjoy monthly columns on cooking, the latest lures, GPS locations, shooting, kayaks, and much more. Have Louisiana Sportsman delivered to your house and safe. $24.99 gets you a full year of Louisiana Sportsman. To order today, visit louisianasportsman.com.
What makes the PSE Carbon Air so revolutionary? The answer is PSE's true carbon technology. Using a monocoque carbon construction technique never before seen in archery, the Carbon Air is built from a single structural carbon fiber shell, much like the body of an Italian supercar. PSE Carbon Air. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Found us a little hole where it's about like the other one, you know. Bubba broke a redfish off when we first pulled up there. We got a apex predator out of the way, now them little ones can eat. There's a lane in there that's clean, and all that water's coming through that clean place, and they're laying in there on that, and whatever comes over them, they're just rushing up and getting it. Yeah, that's one thing about these fish, they're not like that redfish. That redfish will swim big areas. You know, these fish are not. They homebodies. You know, this cut's real similar to the one that, you know, we fished a while ago that we caught so many fish out of. It's just smaller, you know, which in turn you wouldn't think it would hold as many fish. It's not quite as deep, but it's still basically that same deal. That south wind is pushing that water through this cut from that pond over there into this one. Ooh, that's a redfish or a good bass?
I don't know. That might be a good bass.
A good bass.
A good bass.
It is a good
bass. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, old big marsh bass. Can't even flip, so big he can't even flip him in a boat.
Where you at, Gros Savant?
Nice.
Well, you know, we talk about the wind, just one little thing that was kind of a cool deal that we did today. The early morning, you know, me and Greg had talked and we were like, man, let's you know, get on them early. The wind had died down and then it was your typical summertime 10 o'clock rolls around, that wind really picked up. So the Gator Tail, we were able to stay in the protected water. Obviously we were fishing there, but I had to cross a big lake, and instead of jumping into the lake in the open water, the little Gator Tail, we just, kind of just marked our plotted a little course through the inside. Never had the experience, and you know what, ironically on the way, kind of found a spot and picked up a few fish. You're always learning, always scouting in these things, especially when you're in the shallow water. You actually can see the fish. There was 2 or 3 times where we overran them.
Like right there? I got you pointing them for me, Jared. That's the deal. I just sat here and stand around. You go, I said, where is he? You said right there. And sure enough, he was right there. Old blue tail. If you ever feel a need when we're standing around filming and you want to point one out to me, I love that. I mean, it's like the deal. Ooh, aren't they pretty in that water though? I was sitting on a deer stand with Jared Serenay, and he goes, there he is. And I just dropped down. I never saw the fish till after he bit the bait. And Jared goes, there he is right there. I'm like, dang, this is the deal. Maybe I'll just sit in the bottom of the boat and just let him point him out to him. It's like being on a guided fishing trip. I love that. I just can't get over in that, when that water's dark like that, how much color they have. But again, he has that blue sheen on his tail. And I didn't notice that on the first ones this morning when they were so hard to catch. Now you can just get the bait around them and they bite. This week was as much about the off-roading as it was the shallow water fishing. Join us here next time on Sportsman TV.
Over here at Bowie Outfitters, hunting and fishing is our passion. We can help you pick all the right gear for your next fishing trip. We spend time in the woods too, so we know what products to recommend when hunting season comes around. We understand the outdoors and what it takes to have success on your hunting and fishing adventures. So come on down to Bowie Outfitters and let us help get you going. Bowie Outfitters, everything outdoors.
Get that starfish!
If you want to be like these anglers,
We might have a star winner, folks!
then you only need 2 things, a CCA Star entry and a bit of luck. Because if you don't enter, you could miss out on over $500,000 in prizes, including a new Chevy Silverado, over 25 divisions including a new bank fishing, ladies division, and Louisiana Sportsman's bonus prize of $10,000 in cash. Anyone can win, but you must have a Star entry. Register today at ccastar.com.
What makes the PSE Carbon Air so revolutionary? The answer is PSE's true carbon technology. Using a monocoque carbon construction technique never before seen in archery, the Carbon Air is built from a single structural carbon fiber shell, much like the body of an Italian supercar. PSE Carbon Air. Experience PSE. Experience performance.